Hello.
Hey,
Good morning.
How
good
are we all?
morning. Doing really
Very
good. Yeah.
I think I like this one,
Ah,
this
nice.
layout
Yeah,
more. Welcome to Superbase Happy Hour number 15?
15? Yeah.
Season 2 episode.
episode. Is it
Forgotten
six?
where
I'm
we're
so
up
lost
to
on
with
that. Yeah,
sequence.
no idea.
6, 5, 6?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
around there. Yeah, welcome to episode 15. So Superbase Happy Hour, if this is the first time you're joining us, is just a time that we've set aside each week to hang out and build some cool stuff, probably with Superbase because we all work with Superbase. But yeah, quick introductions. I'm John Myers. I'm a developer advocate from Superbase.
I'm Tyler, and I'm also developer advocate at Superbase.
I'm Alistair, and I haven't worked out my job title yet, so I'm something at Superbase. I work at Superbase, not a dev role yet, though.
Awesome.
Like that.
And yeah, if you're joining us in the chat, whereabouts in the world are you joining us from? Looks like we have Cookify Media is joining us again,
Nice.
and
Hello again.
George is joining us
Welcome back.
again. Oh man, we've got some
Welcome
Nice.
back. Yeah.
regulars. This is awesome. And we have Freyol. I don't think I've noticed you in the chat before, and you're coming to us from Ethiopia. That is
Nice.
awesome.
Wow.
And Jonathan's back again from NZ. I realized that now 2 streams in a row I have made a joke about our names being similar. I thought that was an original joke last stream, but turns out when I was like adding chapters to the stream before, I said like exactly the same thing. So I'm
I could
sorry.
have told you that.
Yeah, please let me know on stream if I'm just repeating the same jokes over and over again.
Oh, you got to give it for the new people, right? You know, not everyone might
Yeah.
have been there last week.
That's true.
The
My
joy of
jokes,
streaming.
yeah, they are worth repeating for the new audience, definitely. What's been happening this week? What has been
A lot on Superbase's end.
Yeah, what have we all been
Yeah.
working towards? Let me share this screen.
It's exciting times at Superbase.
It is
Very exciting,
man.
yeah.
What is this?
What is this?
Tyler, what is launch week?
No idea. No idea. What is it?
Alistair, what is launch week?
Oh, I can give it my best go. It's the best week of the year.
The
No.
best week of the year. That's
Although
pretty good.
I don't know, there might be a few launch weeks in a year. So yeah, well,
Well,
as
that's
the name implies, we basically launch a bunch of features and different things that people have been asking for. So if you go to superbase.com/launch week, you can get your ticket, and you can even actually, that's another thing, we're giving away a bunch of golden goodie bags, right? As it says
Ooh,
Yeah,
there.
like
yeah.
golden Superbase caps and
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
they look
there's a
sick.
few like Willy Wonka-esque golden tickets in there.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can quickly pull it up on the Twitters. Oh, look, it's us. We should just stream us streaming the stream. That'd be great content. We have an awesome exclusive.
Maybe if you go to likes or yep.
Well, this is the golden ticket. So if you, the way that you can potentially score yourself a golden ticket is go and register for a free ticket to Superbase Launch Week, which is happening next week. So you just chuck your email in here, click register, and you might win a golden ticket. You might win a regular ticket. But if you are lucky enough to secure yourself a golden ticket, then this comes with some very super exclusive swag. Damn, look at that. Look at that kitty.
I wonder how long it took to take that
Okay.
photo.
Yeah.
It's pretty perfect. I swear we did tweet about the golden hat, right?
Somewhere,
Uh,
yeah.
I
I've
think it's
seen it.
on the easiest way to see it is to go to the swag
Media?
store.
Swag
Oh yeah,
store,
of course.
right.
Store, is it store.superbase.com?
I think so.
Think so, yeah.
And if we go out here, you can see,
Was it $1 million? $1 million
yeah, $1
worth
million
of...
gold super cap. So
Nice.
Who wouldn't want one of those? Yeah. I can see Tyler's in the back. We just got the
Oh, yeah.
regular ones.
Oh,
I still haven't
can
taken
see
the
it.
tag off.
damn,
like
mine's
it,
inside.
yeah.
My white one is inside. But yeah, if you do happen to get a golden ticket, then you might get one of these super exclusive golden super base caps. If you don't, you can buy it for $1 million. So just head over to the store and yeah, maybe we can sort you out with a coupon code that maybe, takes 10% off 900,000 for this super cap.
Bargain.
It's totally worth it. We have Micro Panda joining us from Poland.
Poland,
Awesome.
nice.
What time is it over in Poland
It's
at
gotta
the
be
moment?
like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's that golden time.
Golden
that
hour.
dev time. For people who haven't watched the stream before, we've worked out that no matter what time we do the stream, people only join us at 2 a.m. So if it's like if we're doing it trying to be convenient for like the APAC region, then everyone joins us wherever it's 2 a.m. there. And now we've moved it to try and be more convenient for US time, and now everyone is just joining us from wherever it is, whatever time it is 2 a.m.
Yeah.
or wherever in the world it is 2 a.m. Right, Chile is saying hi from Brazil. Awesome.
Nice.
And apparently Right Chile got the gray ticket.
I got the
Is
gray
that
ticket
the
as
normal
well.
one?
So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
like
all
the
right.
Well, a
regular
great ticket. Very useful.
It
You
is. It gets you access to a very
A
special
launch
launch week
yeah.
that's happening next week.
Next week. It's Friday. It's going to
Coming
be
up,
soon.
yeah.
Yeah. And Jonathan agrees with us that $900,000 for this cap would be a bargain. It is 2 a.m. in Poland. So you nailed it.
Oh yeah,
Tyler
right
nailed
on.
it.
Wow.
You are worldly.
Learning different time zones all over the world, I feel like, through the stream.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Jason's joining us again. Jason hooked us up with an awesome PR last week.
And I
for,
think there's another one sitting there this week.
Yeah.
I've just looked.
Ooh,
Very exciting.
another
Very
Looking
exciting.
forward to it. Yeah.
awesome. Oh, Andrew Smith, our other lovely DevRel at Superbase, also got the grey ticket. Suspiciously, like all the people that happened to work on building the system got the golden tickets. So Thor got a golden ticket, and our
Yeah.
CTO conveniently got a golden ticket, and the rest of us were just stuck with the regular grey ticket. But yeah, I like Rachili's attitude here. Hashtag Team Grey Ticket. We'll group
We're all on
together,
the same
and there's
team. Yeah.
more of us than there are those gold
Yep.
cap people.
For sure.
Awesome. So yeah, so the big news at Superbase is that next week is launch week. So yeah, as we were saying, this is a time when we launch basically a new feature or a new thing every day. And this was kind of born out of the origins of Superbase as a company, where Superbase went through a YC batch, or a Y Combinator batch, which is like a startup incubator. And and you have this like really intense time pressure to build a product. And then at the end, you have this big demo day where you demonstrate what you have built. And so that kind of, once that first batch was complete, Superbase was kind of like, well, that worked really well. Let's just do that again. And so it's kind of embedded itself in the culture of the company, where we have this kind of release cycle of every 3 or 4 months. We do a big launch week and make a big deal about all the cool things that we're building. So this is launch week number 5. So there's 4 others that have happened previously. We've actually just released all of the videos on our YouTube channel. If I go to YouTube/Superbase, which you should also go and subscribe and hit that little bell, to know when we are going live with these kinds of things. But yes, we have released all of the videos from launch week number 4. So if you want to go see what we launched last launch week, if you can't wait until Monday to find out what we're launching this launch week, you can go back and hear from all of these awesome people. Oh man, look at the people we've got up here. We've got Lee
Robinson.
Yeah, from Vercel. We've got Scott Tolinsky in the background, and I forget her name, but from Charm. That is very cool. So yeah, go and check those out. See what we launched last week. See what you might already be able to do with Supabase that you didn't know you could do with Supabase. The other thing that we do alongside launch week pretty consistently is at the end of launch week, we kick off a hackathon where we try and we basically run like a hackathon competition so that people can try out the features that we've been building. And then at the end, we give out a prize for different categories. So this week, this launch week, we are going to run them at the same time. We're going to run them side by side. So we have actually already kicked off the hackathon. I think this kicked off
today.
Yesterday. Today.
Did it kick off, or is it?
No, it's Friday. No, or it might be tonight. But
tonight our time. I know
it's doing that thing where we leak things early again because we are part of all the conversations.
No, we're not. It's already been announced that it's starting.
It's been announced, but I feel like you are not supposed to start building it until it's technically started, which is tonight, I think, for us. It's midnight for Japan.
Well, if you want to get a sneaky head start,
Go and watch this. You technically could, since we announced that it was going to start like yesterday.
Yeah, I guess.
So if you were reading our blog, you never know. You might have been. You might already be on it. But no, we're looking forward to seeing all the submissions for that. It's going to be great. Hackathons are the best. I think even come and actually, if you are doing something for our hackathon, come and hang out in Discord. We've got some text and voice channels in there, and a bunch of the Supabase team are also going to be working on our own little hackathon projects in there as well. So awesome. It's going to be like a cool hangout. Hopefully there'll always be someone in there because we have like enough people around the world. But yeah,
totally. So if you head on over to discord.supabase.com, that will redirect you to this invite page where you can join our Discord. Because we've got 8,102 members going strong. Wow. It's nice seeing this increase every single week. But a lot of us will be hanging out in some of the voice or chat channels talking about the things that we're building throughout launch week, because we're also going to be building cool stuff. Actually, next week, we will have an extra special happy hour. Maybe we should say this at the end, but we'll say it at the start as well. Next week, we're going to do an extra special happy hour where we are going to try to build a fully functioning app. We'll see how far we get. We might just end up like talking trash for like an hour like we usually do and just not actually get anything done. But the goal is we want to build a whole application that has like database hosting, auth, real time, maybe some edge function stuff. And definitely some Postgres functions and Postgres triggers. We're going to see like how much we can cram in to one app in just 2 hours of a happy hour stream. So definitely join us next week because that'll be the last day of launch week. It'll be like day 5. All right, time zones. It might still be day 4 for you, but for us, it'll be day 5, the start of day 5. And the last day of launch week, and we'll be kind of like a little bit past halfway, a little bit towards the end of the hackathon. So it would be a really good opportunity joining us next week. If you don't have any idea where to get started with Supabase, we will be starting from scratch and we'll be getting as far as we can. Maybe I just won't let these two go to lunch and I'll just make them continue.
I was going to say, instead of talking trash, I was going to do some trash talking and say we'll get it done if Neil Tyler types.
Burn. How about if we don't use TypeScript, we might actually get an app finished.
That works too.
Yeah. No TypeScript, no types, no type safety, and then no design or working on CSS or Tailwind.
On the trash talking checklist, we've trash talked John. Now we're trash talking TypeScript. We'll just see where we get to by the end of the stream.
I do love TypeScript. I'm just poking fun. In fact, don't know if we should drop this. Maybe we'll drop it quietly. If anyone's listening, there might be some new cool things coming in launch week that will actually make TypeScript a little bit easier and more fun. So we'll see.
Stay
We'll see.
tuned.
Maybe we'll be inspired to use TypeScript because maybe it'll be so easy to use that.
You never
It'll
know.
be fine.
We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I'll have nothing else to trash talk. There is a lot of chat going on in the chat. We have Andrew's got a backup gold ticket. Sneaky.
Very
What?
sneaky.
Didn't realize you could get multiple tickets. There might be a way to hack the system. I mean, surely people don't have 2 email addresses, right? That would be
2 GitHub accounts.
2
2 GitHub accounts. That'd be too much. And yes, Team Grey ticket as well. We'll have to make some project that will get me $1 million. See, that's actually an excellent idea.
We didn't announce the price for hackathon, did we? Yeah, I feel like we should
Oh yeah, the
Alright,
prize.
touch a little bit. Yeah, the price. You actually get some cash this time.
Yeah. This is the first time we've handed out cold hard cash, right?
Yeah, not $1 million, but close enough.
Yeah. So these, there might be so there's $1,500 in GitHub sponsorship. So basically, your any open source project that you have, is it? Well, yeah. So it's just sponsorship of your account, right? So then you could put that towards anything that you want. And so
you get the cash basically at the end. It's
you
just
get that
via
cash.
GitHub. Because one of the things you got to do for the hackathon is open source your project. So, because you know, at Superbase, we love ourselves some open source.
We do love ourselves some open source. And you also get gold Superbase caps. Not just one gold Superbase cap, but a gold Superbase cap for every single member of the team. So if you want to make something super sick, join up with a whole bunch of other people, maybe find them in the Superbase Discord, team up together. You could get, there's probably about 1,500 Grey ticket people. You could get all 1,500 Grey tickets together. And then
it's maximum of 5 though.
Yeah, 1 to 5 on the team.
Yeah, 1 to 5 for the team.
All right. You could game the system again, and behind the scenes, you could have all 1,500 Grey tickets, and then you could all split $1 each, and you would get 5 caps. So what's that across? You could have like 1/30th of a cap. Is that right?
Something
Is
like
that how
that.
maths works? All right. Back to the chat. What's everyone up to? It is 1 a.m. for Jason in the UK.
Nice.
We have Mbashidi Banashi joining us from Iran.
Nice.
And Right Chili is doing iPad development right now to participate in a hackathon. That is cool. So are you using like GitHub? What is it? GitHub Code Spaces or something for?
Yeah, Code Spaces, I think. Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah. But we should have one of the categories should be like most creative development environment. That would
just be someone on the top of a mountain or something.
Yeah. Andrew is making jokes about the fact that we are coming to you from the future. So yes, it is Friday for us. It is Friday morning. So we can tell you that you can sleep soundly because nothing really happens overnight. So get a good night's sleep because Thursday night's fine and Friday morning is pretty nice.
That's how that works.
Indeed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely how it works. Oh man, the chat is going wild. It's so nice to see everyone joining us live. It's this is awesome. Maybe this time
is a great message.
Is pretty ideal.
We've been waiting for this for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Elliot from California, where it is actually happy hour. So right, we have been waiting.
And not 2 a.m.
Since we moved the time. Finally, someone is joining us at like 5 or 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. Which side's California? One of the PMs on Thursday afternoon. So sorry, it's not yet Friday for you, but yeah, that is awesome. And yes, so in order to get our app finished, we need to not use strict mode. We need to disable. Oh no, we don't need to disable any. Implicit any can go through, and no RLS. RLS is easy. You just write a policy and you just the expression is just true, and then everything's open again anyway. Don't do that. Don't do that. Cool. Should we get into what we are going to be building today?
Let's do it. And let's
Yeah,
review
let's do
some
it.
PRs as well.
Yeah.
Jonathan's pointed out that you only have to win 666.666 recurring hackathons to be able to just buy the gold cap for yourself. So come up with 667-ish
Winning
good
ideas.
and in many, many, many months, you can finally get yourself a gold cap. And Red Chili is clarifying that they're using Swift Playgrounds to create a native app. That's very cool.
Wow.
Yeah. I would love to see. You should, take a photo of how you're building this with Code Sandbox and Swift Playgrounds, because it'd be awesome to see someone like developing a serious full stack app like with a native mobile application and tied into like a Supabase backend like that. There is a lot of power there, and if you're developing that entire thing on an iPad, that's pretty incredible. And Mbanashi is new to Supabase, and he really loves the product. And thank you for all the nice and smart guys. Well, nice guys. I don't know about smart. We fake it.
He has been contributing to our open source as well. That sounds nice.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, to the Happy Days project or the Supabase?
I think Supabase in general.
Yeah, I think Supabase in general.
Awesome. Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we will definitely hit you up with swag if we have not yet. DM us and let us know. And we've got Rory joining us from Supabase, saying it's the best hour of the week, and it's such a great hour of the week that usually we just keep going and we do the best 2 hours of the week.
I was going to ask him which hour was his favorite, the first or the second. Which one's the best one?
Yeah. And if we don't get our app finished next week, it will be the best 3 hours of the week or the best 4 hours of the week. We must get our hackathon
long stream
project finished in one happy hour stream. Awesome. So yeah, Supabase launch week, Supabase hackathon. Get involved. We talked about the prizes. The schedule is basically from today until not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And you need to have created, so team size 1 to 5. You cannot be in multiple teams. I didn't know that. So there you go. You can only be in one team. So Team Grey Hat is only allowed to be 5 people. And 1 submission per team. So you can only build 1 app, even if you're super inspired. All design elements, code, and everything must be created during this event. So every asset that you use for this application needs to be created from today until a week and 3 days or whatever from now. They must be open source, so your repo needs to be available for others to have a look around. Must use Supabase in some capacity. So yeah, you don't need to use Supabase for everything. You could just use it for auth or something like that. But yeah, using Supabase in some way. It can be any language or framework, and it needs to be submitted before the deadline because we need some time to actually like go through and look at them and find all of the awesome projects that we want to give prizes to. All right. Enough about the hackathon. Enough about launch week. Let's look at some PRs. So if we go to our Happy Days repo. Uh-oh.
No, scroll down. Remind me later.
Remind me later. Well, confirm made it go away as well, apparently. We have pull requests. We have 2 pull requests.
Amazing.
We have 1 pull request from, who's this special guy?
Who's that guy?
Who could it be?
Need to make sure that we send this guy some swag. No, it's just we were working on. Yeah, we'll go through what we were working on last week, but I've added a little bit off stream just so that we didn't have to go through it. But we'll step through the PR. But the other one is from Jason again. Jason has added navigation and style entry pages. Awesome. So nav component added some styles to all entry pages, landing pages, and placeholder subscription details, placeholder image added to each entry on the entries page, and still no date picker. That is fine. Yeah.
Doing work either way.
That is, amazing. Let's do Alistair's favorite thing. Whoops.
It is indeed.
Which is open up Happy Days And move this across to here. We want to use the GitHub CLI and say PR checkout number, and we
7, I
can
think
check
it
out
was.
number 7. Oh, actually, okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't have any random uncommitted changes. What did I just say? PR checkout 7. Awesome. And we could open this up
Nice.
in VS Code just so it's ready to go. Oh, ignore that. Oh yeah, this is gonna have. Oh no, that's right. Yep. All right. And I guess we will run our project and then open it up at 8787. It is not right.
Too many 8s.
Can't it just like fuzzy match it? It's like I
Oh my
can see
God.
that you're close enough.
Wow.
Whoa!
Wow.
Damn, that is
This is
amazing.
awesome.
This is
Look
also
at
like
that.
one of the notes that I have to write is like, we need to build out the pricing page in this stream. But it turns out we don't need to build out the pricing page in this stream because
Yeah.
Jason has hooked us up. That looks amazing. I love the
It is
pink and
amazing.
blue theming.
That's a great color
Yeah.
scheme.
Oh, this is awesome. And the little active nav link too.
Yeah.
Amazing. Ah, this is so cool. Right. And you've even started like helping us work out what our different pricing tiers enable. So yeah, 10 journal entries, 50 journal entries, unlimited entries. This is awesome. Sweet.
Really is.
This is beautiful.
Wow.
Let's have a quick look through the code. I think a lot of it will be adding heaps of
Yeah, it's like
Tailwind
1,000 lines added there. Well, 1,500 lines added.
Wow.
Okay, maybe we won't go through every single line. This is amazing. This is awesome. Right, so you've added a whole new nav bar. So this nav bar has nav links, which come in from Remix. They have an active class. Awesome. Oh, even SVGs. You've like made us custom SVGs for the link for the actual is this an SVG? Which part's an SVG? Oh, maybe the logout.
Yeah, that.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, this is sick. Oh yeah, we should step through the actual navigation and see how our application works now that there's like nice multiple pages. So we have this homepage and then we have entries. Oh,
Wow.
damn. This looks
It's crazy.
amazing.
This is amazing.
There's even an upgrade CTA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see you have built products before. This is incredible. Oh my god. And then
I
if
feel
we
like
click
we need to
into-
like send him more swag or something.
Oh yeah, we
For
maybe-
sure.
I think we've
Yeah.
already sent him some, but that's
Wow.
Oh yeah, we'll have to do more. This is amazing. Oh man. This looks beautiful.
Right. Wow.
And then we've got this, I think, is the contribution you made last time. This
yeah, the
looks
form.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Oh, and that even takes you back so you can be like, no, I don't actually want to
Wow.
do this. And we go back to the list. Beautiful navigation, beautiful UX. This is awesome. We can add a new entry. Oh man, so nice. I am blown away. Good job. Did you build out all of the SaaS stuff? So
yeah.
that when we click one of
take a
these
look at
buttons, it just magically, I'm joking.
The whole app works.
But that's what we can build out in this stream. So that puts us in a perfect place to to actually build out the functionality when you click one of these purchase buttons. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe Jason's just sick of us just like waffling on and not actually building a SaaS app when we said like 8 episodes ago that we were going to build a SaaS app. So he's like, look, if I take care of everything else for you, I'll literally give you the button. You just have to wire up the thing that you said that you would wire up when you click this button. We hear you loud and clear, Jason. That's what we will be doing this stream. This looks amazing. Awesome
Yeah,
work.
Jonathan in chat saying Jason casually sliding in as the +1 for this project. It's more like
For
we're
sure,
sliding in as the
yeah.
+3.
Yeah.
I think he's done more lines of code than us now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
In fact, Jason should totally just take you should totally just take this and enter it into the hackathon and see, like, if us three don't see it, we'll see if it slides through everyone else and they're just like, oh my god, this person built an entire SaaS app. This is amazing. Yeah. See if you can get that gold cap for this. That's a good one. Oh, sneaky little
Easter egg.
Easter egg that the color theme is actually based on Happy Days. So this is something that I called out at the start of our stream series, that when we called it Happy Days, this was a TV show from the
Oh, nice.
is
That
it from the
logo.
70s, based in the 50s, I think? Yeah, from the 70s. And yeah, it's about I think I misremembered what it was actually about, but I'm pretty sure it's just about a diner and these people that work or go to a diner called Happy Day. I don't know if the diner's called Happy Days. I assume it's called Happy Days. But yeah, it's got the Fonz and a bunch of other people, and yeah, a classic TV show that apparently neither of these two had ever heard of. So I'm glad that
Yeah, no
Jason has
idea.
also maybe heard of this. Maybe Jason is in the same age bracket as me instead of these youngins that I'm deving with on the happy hour stream. And yeah, that is a very cool Easter egg that it's actually based on the color theme of this show. Very cool stuff.
Very cool.
Very cool
Awesome work,
indeed.
Jason. You have blown us away. That's awesome. And yes, Micro Panda is saying, damn, he's good. Really good. Totally agree.
For sure.
That is awesome. So that kind of, I guess, I guess that allows, like, we've now taken you through what we have been building over the last few streams, in terms of the the functionality, not this beautiful design that Jason has done entirely by himself, but we have been building out a journal entries SaaS application. So where you can basically do a journal entry, and then you can attach some images or some kind of file that's associated with that entry. And then, so the way that you would do that is from entries, go add new entry. So you add a date, a title, some content, and then you can upload some files. And when you submit this, it goes into your personal list of entries. So everyone has their own kind of like sandbox collection of entries. So you can only see your personal entries, obviously. This isn't like a blogging platform. It's a personal journal entry thing where you can tell it all of your secrets and all of your dreams, and no one, hopefully, will be able to ever see them. And so, yeah, you can see this list of your journal entries. And our idea is to SaaSify this product and make it so that, as it says on this pricing page, that if you have the free tier, you can only do 10 entries. If you have the basic or standard package, then you can do 50 entries. And if you have the premium package, you can do unlimited. So yeah, this seems like that actually seems like a perfect structure for our different pricing tiers.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, yeah, I guess if we can just jump straight into actually creating this. So let's head over to Stripe.
Well, we were gonna. Don't get too excited, John.
All right, we need to merge it in.
PRs.
All right. It doesn't look like you are setting up any Bitcoin miners on our application. So I am very, very happy to merge this. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Awesome. Definitely approve. And merge that one in.
Sweet.
The thing that I'm thinking is this may break the file storage stuff. It may have conflicts. So maybe we'll just talk through what the files.
No, it looks all right. I think it'll be right because it's just styling stuff. Yeah.
All right. Look.
Oh yeah. Nice.
No conflicts. That's amazing. So in the last stream, we were building out our file storage. Maybe I'll just show the code quickly. So we were building out our, it was in our entry form, wasn't it? So down here in our form, we have our different fields, and then at the bottom we have a file, and so this is a file upload input, and we've got multiple set to true, so you can select multiple files, and then the way that we had it set up was that on change, so basically like when you add a file to there, it kicks off this on upload function, which then goes and writes to Supabase storage in the assets folder that particular file, or that collection of files. So I think we got this working on the front end, but we weren't able, because we needed to go into some deeper stuff about writing upload handlers and things, and being able to actually get access to that file input on the Remix action side. So this action runs on the server, and so we needed a way to pass out that file upload input, and then be able to write to Supabase storage on the in the action on the back end side of things. And we ran into, there were a couple of like unstable APIs that we didn't want to like spend too much of the stream trying to work out. So I spent a bunch of the off stream trying to work it out, and put up a PR of I'm pretty sure working version. We'll see soon. So we have, I guess if we start down at, so this is
Can you maybe bump the zoom a little on that?
Yeah, good call.
Thank you.
Nice.
So if we start from here, to get our form data, we can run it through this unstable parse multi-part form data function. So this requires us to have, if I scroll down to our form needs to have, almost, come on, give us that little bit more. Our form needs to have the encoded type of multi-part / form data. So I think by default it's form URL encoded.
Yeah.
So this tells it that you're going to pass it more complex stuff. So then up in our loader, we can use this unstable parse multi-part form data function. We can pass it in the request, and then we can pass it basically a function that we want to use to upload those files to Supabase. Something to call out is that you can do it. You can create a really simple upload handler that uses another unstable API called create memory upload handler. So this basically keeps everything in memory. And you can specify manually the max part size. So this is basically how big can each file be. And I've done a sneaky here and said it can be 20 meg, which is a big file. And so you probably, I think the default is 3 meg. So you can overwrite that by passing this configuration. But you are kind of storing all of that stuff in memory. And if you do push this up to Cloudflare, I haven't looked into it, but there might be like a max amount of memory that you're allocated for each of your serverless functions, each of your Cloudflare workers. And so, yeah, might run into problems where you can't actually store that file in memory for that given amount of time. So a way that we can get around that is using streaming. And so I went way, way, way too deep into this to work out how to do, how to create a readable stream. Is that what it's called?
You can tell us.
So, all right, let's start from here. When we define an upload handler, ignore the compose part here. They give us a file. So Remix gives us like passes in the file, or it passes in each input that we want to try to pull our data out of. So it's going to give us the title input, the content input, all of those different inputs. So then we're saying, well, if the name of that type of input doesn't equal files, just return undefined. We don't care about this input. The reason that we're composing upload handlers here is because anything that returns undefined goes to the next fallback upload handler. And so at the bottom here, we've specified an unstable create memory upload handler. So this is basically this, or it is exactly this. But the idea is we don't want to use that memory handler for for files because they might be too big, but just like a text field or a date field or whatever, that's going to be fine being in memory. So it falls back to using that upload handler, which will then just give us that the text from the input or whatever. But if it is a file, then we want to turn it into a stream. So what Remix gives us is an async iterable, which is basically a promise of a file that will exist if you read all of the bits of the file. And so one way that I got around this was by creating a loop that iterated over and waited to pull out each bit of that file and then go and write that to Supabase storage. But then I realized that's just doing exactly what the memory handler is. You're basically putting all of those bits into memory and then you're writing them to Supabase. So I wanted a way to do this properly, and I wasted a whole bunch of Alistair's time. I
didn't help at all. I just
he didn't solve the problem, but it was nice having someone to complain at that it was hard. And so
I'm very
basically
happy
we
to be a
have
rubber
this.
duck.
Yeah, we have this async iterable data type, and we want to turn it into a stream. And annoyingly, there isn't just like a toStream method or anything on it that can help us out. So I wrote this function with a lot of help from a lot of different articles on MDN and Stack Overflow and everything else, glued a whole bunch of stuff together because nothing had the full answer, where we create a new readable stream, and then we need to define a pull function. So this is basically what gets each of those little bits. And then we pass it a controller, which is just basically like the readable stream, like the thing that controls that, the like manager of reading and all of those bits, and I guess calling this pull function. And then inside there we have our loop, which is looping over each little bit that we read in from this async iterable. It's enqueuing it into the controller, and then when we no longer have any bits, we close the controller. All right, you don't need to understand any of that. You write that function, you copy and paste it somewhere in a utils folder or whatever, and then you forget about it forever. But then you can do this thing where you can say, all right, the thing that Remix gives me, I want to turn that into a stream. Because the Supabase file storage stuff in Supabase.js can understand streams, and it can stream the data up to Supabase without needing to store all of the bits in memory all at the same time. But it can't handle an async iterable. So the problem is the async iterable can't easily be turned into a stream. Remix can't be told to give us a stream instead of an async iterable, and the Supabase storage side of things can't understand an async iterable. So that's why we need to turn it into a stream. This is about as complex as the Supabase happy hour has probably ever got.
Yeah.
This is why I didn't want to try and do this live on stream. I thought, let's just create a PR that has all of it working, and then we can just talk through it. So then we just do our normal thing where we grab our Supabase client and we call .storage.from, and we tell it which bucket we want to insert these files into. So that's our assets bucket. And then we're uploading at our user.id. Initially, we were talking about having this folder structure where we had the user ID was like a namespace within the bucket. So anything like the user has access to any of that stuff. And then within that, we had an article ID for an entry ID for that particular entry. That was too hard because we needed to, I don't know how much I should go into it, but it's just like to create the entry here, to create this entry, we need the ID. So we need to have inserted it in. And then to upload it, we needed the entry ID.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken and the egg.
Yeah. Yep. So I decided, all right, let's just get rid of that part from the file path. So just basically we have a namespace for all of the users' assets that they have access to. And then inside that, we just have all of their assets. And then I was thinking maybe we link it up to our the entry, that particular entry, by just adding another column into the entry table that's like an array column of all of the files that that are associated with that entry. Does that sound like a good way to go?
Sounds excellent.
Awesome. So then we give it the stream. and then we tell it the content type is whatever the content type is for the stream, so we can detect like that is a PNG or whatever, even though it is like the overall content type is a stream of whatever that is. We can still say the content that we're streaming you is a PNG. If there's an error, we throw an error. Otherwise, we return the data.key, which is just basically the path in Supabase that this now exists. So it'll be like /assets/ the user ID / whatever. It gives us, a URL. So this is the part that I haven't written yet, that we get back this file paths array of all of the different files that we've uploaded, and then we need to do something with it. So if I guess I could just merge it in rather than checking it out, right? Do you trust me?
Merge it in.
Yeah.
I need to ping either of you for to approve it.
I think we're not on the repo, right?
All right.
Right.
Cool. And there's no rule anyway, so I don't think it matters.
All right. One other thing that I wanted to shout out is this means that we can't do our fancy little like destructuring from our. Actually, I can just show you. Up here we did object.from entries, and then we passed it all of the form data, and then we could destructure out like our title and our content and whatever else. We can't do that when we use this unstable parse multi-part form data. If we try and do that, we end up with just one file. So the only way that we can pull out both files is by breaking it all out into an ugly collection of statements where we do form data.getID, form data.getDate, title, content, and then we can do get all and get all of the files. All right. I have brain dumped everything that I have learnt over the entire week at you all, and I hope that makes sense.
I think it makes perfect sense. Well
awesome.
done. Very nice.
And cool. I'm going to say thanks, John. Looks great. You are a great developer.
I tried to approve it as well, but didn't work.
We will send you swag. Approve.
That's great.
Oh, it's not going to let me either.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I need to zoom out slightly. What? All right. I'm just going to merge it in then. Cowboy merge. All right. Merge pull request. And now if we go back to here and we check out main.
We should probably add that to the .getignore because it'll make contributing easier as well, because it's a generated thing, right?
Yeah. Let's do that. That's not going to... That won't break the deployment. No, that'll be fine. All right, I might do that. Let's check out main. Let's pull down all of the changes. And then let's exclude in our .getignore. Create a new thing for Tailwind and say ignore this one. Shouldn't be bothered by that again. And I just accidentally quitted. Accidentally quit. Okay, so we now have an almost working application. If we run this and then we head over to our 8787, have this beautiful pricing page, and we can add a new entry. And now if we add this date and say happy hour number stream, number 15, I think it was. Oh, it's already there. Yeah, it's still episode 15. I must have messed up last time. Hello. And we will add some files. We will go my model pick and my stream hat pick. We will add those. And so these are freakishly big files again. And actually, before I click submit, I'm just going to head over to our Supabase application and go to Happy Days. and I might just delete our files for the currently logged in user, which would be this because it has all of these tests. So we'll delete that, and we will delete this one. All right. So now we don't have a folder for this user, this signed in user. And we're trying to upload these 2 files. Let's open up the console and ignore that error and click submit. We don't have any feedback at the moment that this is actually submitting anything other than going over to this network tab. But we can fix that later. And there you go. It's redirected us to this page. And if we have a look, oh yeah, we've got hello, which is the content. So we haven't written any logic to actually be able to see those files. But if we have a look in this console, we can see that file paths that we printed out now has assets / our
Amazing.
user ID / whatever our image was.
Very
And if
nice.
we go
Sweet.
over to Supabase and we refresh, we've now got a folder. And inside that, we've got our model.png, our beautiful model, beautiful StreamHat model, and then our StreamHat.png, throwing up the Supabase gang sign. And
Is that right?
yeah,
It's not like the industry super fund.
yeah. Maybe that wasn't in your onboarding, but yeah, whenever.
That's an Australian joke for you there. Those,
I didn't get it. What?
I didn't get it
Yeah.
either.
It's an Alistair joke then.
Okay.
Are there any other Australians in the chat? Those old ads that they're like they do this, you know, and the camera zooms in and like make sure your super fund is an industry super fund. The ads clearly had an effect on me.
I do remember this, yeah. And yeah, if you're coming to us from anywhere else in the world, you probably don't even know what superannuation is or super or any of it. So all of it completely
Niche joke.
Yeah. Someone in the chat, please
Too
validate,
niche.
Alistair, that you are from Australia and have seen this or have been in Australia or streamed ads from Australia at some point. And MicroPanda is saying this is a super advanced version of a note-taking app. Yeah, so you could use this for something like modify it slightly to build something like Notion if you wanted to, which would be a very cool way that you could modify this. Actually, that would be a super cool hackathon entry if you wanted to take this and then
We
go
should
and build something.
when Tyler and I were in Singapore recently at CityJS conference, some of the Dashybase guys who are friends of Supabase made this like super cool Notion interface thing called, maybe you can pull it up, John, Lotion, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Lotion.
Put in Dashybase Lotion.
I haven't quite got the SEO over regular Lotion just yet.
But yeah, so we will. That's another PR. Maybe we could change out our text field or our content field for this.
Yeah,
you can see
that might be awesome.
It's an open source project, and I think it's went up in stars quite dramatically over since they published it. But it's basically the Notion interface but open source.
Wow!
And it's
Oh
got
my
commands
God,
and stuff. Yeah.
I feel like using this, people would actually pay for our SaaS.
Yeah.
All right, we've worked it out. Shh, everyone, no, don't use this. Don't combine these two things. They're incompatible. We will see you at our next venture called Sotion, Supabase Lotion.
Yeah, but check out Dashybase. Shout out to the Dashybase guys because it's great.
That is awesome. Super cool.
This awesome.
So looking at building something similar to this, combining these two things, they would all be awesome things to submit into the hackathon or just work on just for fun. Because it's interesting building like an interface. Like when you're using Notion, you don't type into an input field and then click submit or save or whatever. Like you're constantly writing little bits of data as the user is just writing into the page. It's very cool. And Jason is saying, mind blown, I will stick to the styles. So yeah, maybe we went a little bit too deep, but I wanted there to be like a reference. I will write up a blog and probably put it out next week. But yeah, wanted there to be like a reference of here is how like you can just copy this exact pattern and you can use Supabase file storage with Remix, those Remix file upload APIs. And yeah, that's how you do it. Cool. So now so the last part is we just want to now store these assets alongside our particular journal entry. So if we head over to our table editor, Alistair or Tyler, is there a cool way to just like store an array of stuff in another table? Or do we need to set up a table like what I called an intersection table last time, where it's like links that particular entry to that particular file?
I feel like this is a very leading question.
I feel like isn't it better to create a separate table and store those information rather than like having array column in the same table?
I don't know.
I like the array column. So
really,
for those that don't know, in Supabase, or not just Supabase, Postgres, there are a few different column types. We could use a JSON-B column and then use a JSON array, or Postgres actually natively supports arrays. And in this case, like, well, let's look at the pros and cons, right? Pro for the column, the just single column. It's simple. We can, I don't think we're adding too many editing features. We can just like remove it or save an item.
Oh yeah, right. That's where it would get complicated if you were like,
that's what I was thinking.
In that array, then you need to find it in that array and update it or remove it or something like that, right?
Another pro for having it in the separate table is you could do a good old SQL relation and reuse, maybe like have a WordPress media manager, like that whole that media is kind of its own separate thing, and you could attach different pictures to different posts and share them across like one file across multiple entries. But again, I think that's kind of out of scope for this app. So
yeah, well, I've never built I've never used an array column.
So maybe it's a good choice just so John can learn it.
To step through it and have an example. The other thing is, with the JSON-B column would be interesting, just because it's such a flexible thing as well. But let's step through. Let's use an array. Let's see what an array in Postgres looks like and what we get on the other side when we pull it out in Supabase JS.
All right.
Yeah.
Alistair?
Well, hit entries, add a new column.
It's just going to be this easy. Is there? Define as array. Oh, you thought that I was giving you a leading question because I actually knew that there was a new thing for this. I absolutely didn't.
I don't think there's a new. I think that's been there for a while.
Awesome. So should we call this one assets? Because I guess it could be any kind of file.
Sure.
Or asset URLs or something like that.
That's a good idea. Assets. That's right. We're going to write a description for this one column and none of the others. Assets associated with entry. Entry. All right. So the type. So if we click define as array, so this allows the column to be defined as a variable length multi-dimensional array. So then if we just select a type, it's just an array of that type. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Damn. Supabase is cool. I like Supabase.
I think Postgres is cool.
Postgres is cool. No, but like this interface is awesome. It's just so easy. All right. Do we want I guess we don't want a default value, and we want it to be possible to be nullable.
Sure.
Would it make sense? And I'm not sure how default value works in another way, but would it make sense to give it an empty array as a default value, or I don't know. What do you think about that?
Why not? Then let's try it. Uncheck allow nullable.
That would be.
Is it going to be curly braces?
Well, here's the thing, right? No, let's try square braces first, because I think the Supabase console papers over a bit how which to be honest, I don't love, because it's confusing if you've used Postgres before and you're used to
But that's
Postgres
not-
arrays
that's-
being curly braces.
If you've
But-
used Postgres before, you just go over to the SQL editor and you write everything in SQL.
That's true. That's what I
Having
do.
that in the UI is very nice. That's awesome.
I don't know. I like consistency, because the other thing to be aware of when editing arrays in Supabase is to use double quotes instead of single quotes, because for some reason that's backwards as well in terms of Postgres. So it's just a little bit difficult to work with if you're not, but we are planning on making some changes to make it more consistent. But for this stage, this works. We've got a nice default value. We don't have to worry about nulls. Great suggestion, Tyler. I was just scared of the syntax.
Awesome. Cool. So now we can just chuck them in there, I guess.
Let's do it, yeah.
Yeah.
I might just quickly move these windows so it doesn't drive us crazy. So if you remember all the way back to what we were actually doing before, we get this file paths array, which is just a collection of all of our uploaded assets. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to say when we upsert a new entry into our entries table, we now also want to include our asset URLs to be our file paths. So this is an array of strings, and hopefully this will just be an array of strings. It doesn't like it.
I think we have to add it to our model.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Entry model.
Good call, which is coming in from our routes, as Alistair loves. And so this has our asset URLs. Yes, is an array of string.
Nice.
Cool. And now hopefully our red has gone away. No, it hasn't gone away. Asset URL.
If you hover over file paths, we need to convert it to strings or something.
Oh yeah, right. So array. Could we just do array dot from this thing?
Maybe, but it might still be the wrong type.
A string array.
Oh, that.
Power play.
All right. What would be a nicer way to do this?
I'm not sure here. What might be the best way? Get all. What does that actually return? What was the type? Sorry, if you get rid of
It's like
those.
a form data entry value, and because it's get all, it's an array of form data entry value.
Can we map to
Can we
it?
map and do toString? That's what Tyler was going to say. Sorry, Tyler.
No.
That's a good call. So if we have our get all here, and we say we want to map over each file, and we want to say file.toString. Look at that. And then this is now an array of string, knows that it has to be an array of string, and we can pass it into our assets URLs. And so even if we don't upload any files, this will just be an empty array, which is also fine to go and overwrite whatever our files are in our database.
Cool. Well, there's one more thing we've got to do here, and that's because, well, if you cast your mind back to last stream, or if you weren't with us for the last stream, we didn't make this a public bucket. So these files are currently protected. So there's two ways of doing it, and we can either store just the blank file paths like this on the thing, and then on the client side, we can grab those URLs and basically create a new signed URL, which it basically checks that we're allowed to read the file, and then we can use that file if we are allowed to use it. The downside of that is we've got to make a request before a request to Supabase before we can read the file directly. So because I usually wouldn't recommend doing this, because I think it's important that each user has the permissions checked before it reads the file. But here, because only we can read our own entries, we kind of already know that we can read the file, right? Do you think that's a fair assumption to make?
I think that's a fair assumption to make.
I think we can do another map. I'm a fan of doing it in another map. And we can like do some, I don't know what's the best way to call it, but like pre-authorization on these files and store the actual signed URL in the database.
Okay, so we could go. So we would need this to be async, right? Because we need to go back to Supabase to get the signed URL.
Probably. Let's see.
Okay, so we want to say, I thought Copilot was going to do it for us, but essentially we want to await Supabase.
I think you just imported the other one.
Whoops. We want to go Supabase client dot storage dot get not bucket just dot from assets. We want to get a signed URL. So get public URL. Look at this for
I think
our
it gets signed. We don't want the public URL. We want a signed one. You were right the first time.
Yeah. Signed URL for our file path. Oh no, that doesn't work.
I forget what the method's called.
Isn't it called? Wasn't that the correct one?
You control space. John, please.
There we go.
Create signed URL. Oh, we actually got a method to create signed URLs. That's handy. So we might not need to do this in a map, just one request.
Right.
I did not know about that. I probably should have known about that.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah. All right. Look, how about we do that, and then we pass it our file paths, and then we move it out of this map, and get rid of our second map altogether, because we could now just say our files equal to Supabase client.storage from assets.create signed URLs.
I think it still returns data on.
Okay.
Yeah, data on there.
So we could just call this files and error. Do we already have error in scope? Yeah. No, we don't. All right.
So I think is the problem there that the file paths is still null, string or null inside it. If you just hover over the file paths variable. Oh no, it is a string array. What's it complaining about then?
Paths is a string array. Do we need the
expires in?
Oh.
Set it just to some crazy number. See, this is the downside of doing it. Like doing the pre-authorization, right? We're just basically going to. What syntax is this?
I think it's.
Are we in Dart?
Yeah, we probably don't need that. We just pass a number, I think, without the expires in keyword. Yeah.
Of course. What am I writing? All right.
That would be Dart. Yeah, that would be Dart.
Give it a couple more nines just for good measure. Yeah, right.
But this only has to be a maximum number, right? Is this?
So maybe this isn't. Yeah, maybe this isn't the right way to go about it, because when that does expire, we now have a expired like row in our database. But if we have this like get signed URLs function, we would just need to call that once when we're getting the data, right? On the other side, when should we do that?
You want to do it on the client side properly?
I think so. Or it could still be on the server side in the loader when we're getting the entries, because the loader will still have access to the user and the access token.
And I actually feel better about it now, having learned that there's a method to create a single call for multiple.
Because that's what I was thinking is, like we fetch the entry and then we need to like iterate over 5 like other promises to get each public URL.
You've convinced me. Let's do it. Excellent. Doing it the proper way. What a novelty.
Nice.
Everything we do on the Happy Hour stream is the proper way. What are you talking about? All right. So we should now have our entry data and our entry error. So yeah, we shouldn't need to do anything else. It should now just write, whether we're editing or we're creating a new entry, this should just add the paths for our images. I guess it's a little bit of a weird user experience, because if you're editing one that has images, then you're overriding it. So if you don't give it the original images that you gave it the first time, it would
delete it pretty much.
It would delete it. But yeah, that's fine. That's something we could work out later if we'd like to.
Yeah.
We can definitely do that off stream. Or a lovely contribution from our lovely people, which it is something that you could contribute because you'd have, yeah. All right, let's talk about it when we actually get to the problem instead of just, like stepping through our mind puzzles. All right, so we have our application. We want to, well, let's try creating a new one first. So, oh man, this is so nice. I'm still blown away. This is one with images. Wow, those images. And we are going to insert a model and a stream hat.
It's always concerning. You never know whether you actually click the button or not.
Yeah. That would be an excellent, fairly low-hanging fruit way to contribute, especially if you want to learn a little bit more about Remix. There is a transition API. Oh, that's no good. All right. There's a transition API. I recommend if you did want to do a small contribution to this project and you were looking for somewhere to get started, disabling that button while it's submitting would be a really cool thing to do. And yeah, you can use something called, I think it's just use transition in Remix, that basically gives you the state of whether you are currently submitting the form. And so have a look into that and submit a PR and we will hook you up with the swag. But this did not work. Why are you broken?
Well, the only thing we added was the update logic, right? So let's look in the Remix console because I think it'll be server-side.
Yeah. Duplicate key. All right. We can actually, that's going to be a problem on the other side anyway. So let's do a fancy little, not even a fancy thing. Up here where we're doing our upload, let's also pass through upsert.
True. Nice.
True. So now if we basically we can overwrite the file because the problem, to explain the problem that we were just getting, it's saying that we have a duplicate key violates unique constraint bucket ID object name. So basically we're trying to upload a file that has exactly the same name and exactly the same file path into our bucket. And it's saying, hey, we already have that. And so you're not allowed to do that. But by specifying upsert true, we're saying that we can either be inserting a new image or a new file, or we can be overriding an existing file. So basically, if it has exactly the same name and exactly the same file path, we're overriding it. And if it has a new name, then we're uploading a new file.
Nice.
Cool. So I
Amazing.
think we'll need to, well, yeah, let's just add a new one again. I don't know what any of those other screenshots are, so I'm really worried I'm going to click one and then reveal like my bank details or, something. All right, let's submit that.
And now,
if I did click the button, then maybe it will be doing all of the stuff behind the scenes. Also, the reason that this is taking so long is because those images that I'm uploading are huge. They're like 8 meg each or whatever. So this is not a realistic thing that you would be uploading into there. But the reason that I wanted these massive images is that it kind of tests our like streaming logic and making sure that all of that is working. All right, so that looks good. If we have a look in our console, we have all 200s, which means if we head over to Supabase and refresh our entries table, we should have one entry that has an array of paths, maybe. Oh, we do.
Sweet.
That is so cool.
very nice.
Nice.
That was easy. Okay, awesome. So now, I guess we just want to pull it out on the other side. So yeah, what we were stepping through before was, do we create a public or assigned URL for that particular image so you can see that image? Do we get that signed URL and then insert that into the database, or do we pull out this this asset path and then create the signed URL when the user is trying to actually view the file, which seems like a better way to do it, because then it's enforcing that the current user is actually allowed to see that particular image. We've got some
Andrew pointed
Andrew's
out some nice things.
trying to help us out. So create signed, it requires the expires in, right? Yes.
Refresh
And
button.
we have the refresh button at the top of the table view.
I
So we
wasn't
don't
going
need
to say anything, but no, I'm glad Andrew said something.
Yeah.
we can do like a nice client-side refresh where it just goes and fetches those things that have changed, rather than just refreshing the entire open dashboard. Good call out. Cool. So let's look at actually displaying it, I guess, because we have
Yeah, let's do it the proper secure way. Creating
Let's
a
do it
signed
the
URL
proper-
every single time.
I like it. So I guess we would display it here. Maybe we could display like little thumbnail versions of each of the files that are connected to this
Love that.
particular entry.
Or we can just display raw image and then let the community take care of the CSS part. Make it
That's true. Yeah. All right. Yeah. How about we fetch the data side of it, and then
Yep.
if someone, Jason, don't feel like you are now like the dedicated like designer for this project. Feel free to take a rest and not pick this one up. But if you're
Yeah, for
interested
sure.
to keep working on it, then yeah, definitely submit a PR. But yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. All right. So we want to do this on our listing page. So we have I think this one is where we're iterating over. No? Oh yeah, we're getting all of our entries, and then we are iterating over all of them and creating a link. All right, so this is the landing page, and then this one just has one singular entry. So yeah, maybe we'll do it on this one singular entry, and then we will update the other ones as well. So this is saying firstly that we have some red squigglies. Exported member entry.
Is it time to create a types file?
I think that's a good idea. Should we create a types file?
Just quickly.
You
Yeah.
know, someone might have suggested that like 3 streams ago.
What a good idea. Good idea, Tyler. Let's do it. All right. Do we create this in the root, or do we put this in the app folder?
Probably app lib
Yeah.
or something, whatever you want to do.
Do like types dot, is it .d? Kind of thing.
Nah,
Definitions?
that's for like
.ts?
types.ts. Yeah,
Yeah.
normal TS file. RS, we're doing Rust. What?
And we just want to pull out what is in our index up here, maybe? No?
I think we could just jump to open a file that includes entry model, and we could just command click into it.
Good call. So up here, command click into entry.
Well, that one's doesn't
Yeah.
know where it's from.
Yeah.
One other than that one.
All right, the edit page. All right, it's
Yeah.
just because we didn't use our tilde. That's all. All right. So we want to move this entry across to our types.ts, and we're already exporting it. So now that should break a whole bunch of stuff. And this is why we use TypeScript, because now we can just come to anywhere where we're trying to pull in our entry, and we just pull it in from tilde/types. I might just copy this one and then go anywhere where there's red and replace this one, replace this one, and replace this one. No?
You deleted it from there, so you need to add it back.
Ah, yeah, right. Cool. Nice.
Beautiful.
So we just want to display our images with our entry. So here we are getting, well, we're already selecting all of the columns. So it's actually already in memory. We just need to, but we need to do an additional get here. So if we console log out our entry here, from entry, why is this not happy? Entry or null. But it's okay if it's null. Okay, for some reason renaming it confused it. So we'll just call it data. So we're going to console log out our data here, and then we are going to pass across an entry that's set to data. All right. And now if we have a look in our Remix console, this is the entry that we're pulling in. And so that has this array of asset URLs. But if we try and view one of these directly, if we were to...
Well, we haven't even built the URL yet. So it does, you know, the nice thing about create signed URL is it puts the front bit on as well.
Super basic stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so basically this URL doesn't go to anywhere, like assets / blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean anything to our Remix application. And so it's going to try and make a request to something in an assets folder within our Remix app, which doesn't exist. So yeah, we need to create a proper Supabase URL that's signed. And so it's checked that our user is allowed to see it. And that's what we want to actually display in our application. I don't think, maybe I did put it in the clipboard, but I've now copied other things for our types. Once again, TypeScript has let us down and ruined my clipboard. So we want, we want to go and get our asset paths.
Sure. I think you need a curly braces.
Oh, yeah, good.
Because yeah.
But yeah, so we get back some data, which is going to be our asset URLs. And this is going to be await Supabase client dot storage dot from our assets folder. We want to get create signed URLs for our data.asset.
Was it
URLs?
Yeah.
It's just going to complain.
Pass it another number?
Yeah, I think before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Of course. The
Yep.
But yeah, it's not happy about this.
I mean, we probably should be throwing a 404 or something, right? Before, like, doing if not.
Yeah,
if
the data doesn't exist.
Good call. So yeah, if there is no data, then we want to return I think there's a status helper, maybe? Status, no. I guess we can just return a new response.
It says
Micropanda
new response not found.
Sorry to cut in. Micropanda says she has to go. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
See you next time.
Hope you learned lots about file storage and Supabase and Remix and unstable APIs. So if we don't have data, then we want to return or throw a new response that is a
you can just say a string of not found and then status 404 in the object, which I think works.
Yeah, there's a 404 or not found or something helper. Cool. So we can throw a new response of not found, but otherwise we do have data, and so then we can pass it our data.asset URLs, and then yeah, this number. So this, I'm assuming this is a number of seconds that this URL is valid for. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just like 5 minutes, 300 seconds seems reasonable. Because whenever you come back to the page, you'll get a new set of URLs, which is fine. So as long as we can
Yeah.
download them within the 5 minutes, it won't be a problem.
One thing I noticed is the asset URLs that we have saved contains the bucket name at the beginning, which we don't want to pass in line 24 right here, right? To the create signed URLs. We need to remove that bucket.
Ah,
Yeah, so it started out with asset slash then user ID. So we don't want
Yeah.
the asset slash part in the asset URL. So we can either remove that before we save it, or we can like remove it right here. I don't know.
Is
Kinda wanna
Superbase
remove it
smart enough
before we
to?
save it.
Yeah, okay.
Is-
Let's might be better to remove it before we save it.
Should we check what error we get?
Sure.
Let's log the
see.
asset URLs as well in case it does magically work.
Things in Superbase sometimes just magically work when you're not expecting them to, like arrays in the dashboard. So if we were to edit this one and add a file to it.
No, it did have files. It's fine. You can just view the entry, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Our entries for another one.
Let's check the console.
Server side?
Oh yeah, of course. Error. Either the
Yeah.
object does not exist. Good call.
Yeah.
Good spot. All right. So back over in our, when we're actually writing it to our entry form, we do not want the assets part in front of it. So when
It's in the upload handler, right? Your fancy upload thing.
Yeah, it's here, isn't it? Yeah. No, up here, right? When we're
Yeah.
uploading it to, oh, you mean when we're uploading it to the bucket.
So
I think
instead, where it says .key.
Yep. I think it's
Oh yeah, of course.
right here, right?
Any other property on there? Not. Yeah, you can just replace. But is there like a .path or something instead of .key? I mean. If you do, no, it's just .key. It's almost like this shouldn't work this way, and because it's a common use case to upload a file and want to then use the path in the like upload handler. So maybe if you just wait until next week, this problem will magically resolve itself.
Should we just for now pull out the line number 36, that combined string to a separate variable and call it a file path or something and just return that?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, that's an easy way of doing it.
Yeah.
File path equals this one, and then we want to upload file path.
Path.
And then we just want to return. So if we had an error, we'd throw an error, so we wouldn't actually get to this point. So if we have successfully uploaded it, then we can just return that file path.
Nice.
That is a clever way to do it. Cool. So now if we go back to our, if we edit this one, add our files. Actually, we will end up with, because now that when we do the upsert, they're now not the same name because we've removed.
No, they are the same name.
Sorry, they are right because it's the storage part that's the upsert. All right, cool. So that should override it once it's done all of its thinking. Awesome. So now we should just see it in here.
Look at that signed
nice.
URL.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So that's our path. That's our signed URL. And so we can just use the signed URL to display it. So yeah, we might just chuck it straight into an image tag, and then if anyone is keen to go for a fairly low-hanging contribution, that would be a good one to do. So if we do image, oh wait, we'll need to iterate over them, won't we?
Are we doing it in the form or on the page?
Oh right, this is the entry form.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, does Remix have Next.js image equivalent kind of things?
I don't think so. I think it's something they're working on, and I think they built like a proof of concept in an example that they put up, but I don't think they have it wrapped up in Remix. Unless they do, if anyone in the chat knows that they actually do have an image component now, because things tend to change very, very, very quickly.
Awesome.
in projects, startup projects like Remix and like Supabase. So I feel like every time I say something's not a thing, I'm
It is a
usually wrong
thing.
about it. So we don't want to do this on the form. We want to do this in our index.tsx here. So where
No
we have
entries, ID, index.
this one.
Yeah.
So many indices. So yeah, here we have our entry. We're dumping out all of the information, and then probably
We've got to pass it through from the loader as well, right? We're just logging it out at the moment. Like we might like to do a map and grab on the asset URLs and grab out the .signed URL property.
good call. So we will say our entry with const. Well, we could just return the entry, and then we could construct a new entry that is ... and also our asset. What else?
With the underscore if we want the types to match.
But
And
don't
also
we
we
want
need
this one?
to, yeah, we do, but I'm saying if we want to overwrite, like the TypeScript is going to yell at us if we try and access.
Sorry, TypeScript. Don't yell at us, please.
And then we have to do asset URLs in the camel case .map because we need to grab off the
Signed
what's
URL.
the signed URL property? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh yeah, right. Because here, is it right? So URL.asset dot URL.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
Looking
Maybe we
good.
should just pull this out and say const entry equals this thing, and then just return our entry.
Nice.
And maybe here, if we do have an error, we should throw our error.
I feel like I was wrong. Does it return an error or does it return errors only within individual arrays? Is there a top level error? There is a top level error, huh? Okay, never mind.
Error or null.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, never mind.
Cool. So now we should have it in our entry here. Maybe we'll just console log out our entry. And over here, if we have a look in the console, we have our entry and it has asset URLs, which
Sweet.
are our nice signed URLs, which is very nice. And so now we just need to display them. So we can do just a simple image tag under we have our title, we have our edit. So I guess before our edit, but after our title is probably where we want it. So we have our content, and then we want to say entry.asset URLs.map over each URL, and for each URL display an image tag, key set to our URL, and the class name. Come on, we're not doing styling. Didn't you hear us before? We can just do this and say source is equal to our URL. I did not get all of my curly brackets right. We need one of these ones and one of these ones. We need one of those ones and another one of those ones and then one of those ones. Yes. All right. When you save and Prettier just like moves everything around, you're like, yes, I got the magic incantation right. Cool. So we're mapping over each of our asset URLs and we're creating an image tag. And so now look at that.
Wow.
Oof.
Too easy.
Very nice. It is too easy. All right. So yeah, if someone wants to style these up nicely, make little thumbnails or do anything with them, feel free. That would be...
Maybe we should create some issues in GitHub. So, because we're always asking for all these things, but you never know, could get lost.
Our stream is almost over.
Stream.
I thought we were going to get through all of the Stripe subscription stuff.
We can talk about how we want to do it and create some stuff in Stripe.
Oh yeah, we could create our individual products, and then next week we could actually pull them into our application. Not next week, because next week we're going to do a special one, but the week after. All right. Issues. So we're going to create an issue for styling image tags on this one. Nope. Copy file path. Copy relative path. All right. Maybe I'll just remember that I need to do this after the stream, because I can't even spell styling right. All right. There's one. I will maybe update it with some more information after this. But got our images here. We've done our public URLs. We've done our fancy Remix server-side unstable APIs for creating an uploader. So yeah, I guess back on this homepage, or are there any other pages that we need to update to pass through the image? I guess this one.
I guess obviously.
Maybe show the first image on this list. All right, let's quickly
Alistair,
do
you're muted.
Well, got to click
There
all
we
the
go.
buttons. No, yeah, we if we want to stick on the images, we can show the first one on the same thing with another create sign thing. It'd be pretty much the same process, or we can leave that up for another issue.
I think we can do that in 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right.
So here
It's gonna
with
look
our
beautiful.
entries, when we're iterating over our entries, I guess we need to we're gonna have to get our signed URLs for each of the entries, though, aren't we? Or we're just gonna have to get one.
No, I reckon we should build a new array with all of like the first images in. I don't know how we want to do it, and
Yeah,
then send
that
that
sounds
off as one request with our create sign, same function.
Yeah, that's
Can we also?
Oh.
Yeah, well, do we need to do ascending? I think the entries are in the wrong order. I'm swapping to a different issue now. But they
ascending
shouldn't
false.
be, right? Ascending false is what we want. But I thought the newest one, like if you just go and create a new entry.
I feel like it's because we end up entering the same date timestamp, right?
But that's
it's all
not the
the same
created at date.
timestamp.
Oh right, yeah, right. We do. Keep
Yeah,
this in the same
yeah,
you're right.
yeah,
Good catch, Tyler.
yeah.
I created an issue for the date picker. Someone please do that.
And yeah, if it could pre-fill with like today's date, because that's the most likely one that you would probably be creating an entry for today, and then if you need to change it, then you could change it. That would be a good one. Maybe we'll add that to the issue. Alistair, could you add that to the issue, that it should pre-fill with today's date?
I'll add that to the issue.
Awesome. All right, so we have our entries. We want to map over each of our entries, and then for each of those ones, we want to go and create an asset URL for that particular
Yeah, what do we do
first.
for entries that doesn't have a image?
Oh yeah, that too.
We can just keep showing the one that's there right now.
What do we pass in this case? I feel like it could. It's not as
I
simple
see what
as
you're saying.
Yeah, it's not as simple as it seems. Is it?
It's just a
Edge
cheeky
cases.
null.
Yeah.
A null, and then down here.
But how do we match them back up?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If we
yeah,
just map over
yeah.
and create one big
Yeah.
thing, then we wouldn't. We'd have to map each one back to its particular ID to create our new one. So performance doesn't matter right now, and it's only it only runs once in the loader, and it would only be a couple of requests to Supabase per entry, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, for this one, we're going to show just how to quickly put this together, but
Quick and dirty way. I like it.
yeah. I'm
Yep.
sure there would be a nicer way to do it. By just putting together all of the URLs that you need to go and get assets for, or get signed URLs for, and then
Could that be an issue?
that could be an excellent issue. Yeah, take this one awful non-performant request or collection of requests that we've created and just turn it into one request to go off to Supabase. yeah, that would be a good one. So we want to map over each of the entries, and for each of those entries, we want to go and get the signed URL. So we would need to make this an async function, and we would need to say we want our, we can just copy it from over here.
Although, bear with me, right?
Okay.
Because these create signed URLs, if you go back to the console and look at the return type, it returns the original path. So we can just map through every entry,
perfect.
map
And
through
just replace them.
the arrays and replace.
Someone thought about this.
Maybe.
We've just taken one of your issues away. Sorry, community. We're going to do it the proper way. So disregard everything that we said. This is the, well, we'll see. We'll see if we get it working.
Well, it's the theme of today's stream is doing it the proper way.
It is, yeah. It actually is. All right. So we want to go and get the asset URL. Oh yeah. So what we're not going to do, what we were talking about doing, is going and doing this for every single one. So inside our map, going and making a fresh request to Supabase for every single, for the first asset URL for every single entry. But that creates a whole bunch of requests to Supabase. So what we want to do is we want to kind of like move this out to here and pass it through an array of all of the asset URLs that we want to find. So let's say asset URLs. And so this is going to be an array that we create up here of asset URLs, which is initially going to be set to an empty object. And then when we're mapping over each of our entries, oh yeah, we wouldn't actually need to use a map here. If we do a for each, wait, no, what am I talking about? Let's use a map and let's say const asset URLs is equal to this map. And in this map, we just want to put in our entry dot asset URLs index 0. Is that right? That was a mouthful. All right. Entry dot asset underscore URLs. So this is our array of our non-public versions, the ones that you can't visit from our Remix application. So we want to just return the first one. And now asset URLs is now going to be an array of promises. Wait, why is it promises? They did async.
Async.
All right. So now what's the problem? Asset URLs is any, which is totally fair. Our entries is any, because we didn't specify an entry here. And now I think it's having that same problem where it says it's an array of string.
No, can you hover over entries?
Oh yeah, entries is an array of string or null. So then if we do this,
no, you just have to. It's or null, so we just need a question mark there.
Cool. So if we have entries, we want to map over them, and we want to do this, and then I guess otherwise we just want to give it an empty array because we want to be able to treat this like an array, right?
We will also need to do a .filter boolean on the end of it because not everything has an index 0 on the images. So after your map, do a .filter.
Oof. All right. After this one, we do a .filter. Filter, and we want to
just
filter.
pass in the boolean constructor. It's a cheeky hack.
Oh, right. We can just pass it in like this, right? We don't even need to.
Yep.
Cool. So this is going to filter out anything that doesn't have an index 0. And then that is, again, going to fall back to this, right?
Yep. If that first question mark fails, it will.
So either we don't have entries and we fall back to this, or we don't have an index 0. And then we fall back to this. Is that right? All right, cool. So then rather than this being asset URLs, we All right, we make a request to Supabase client.storage, and from assets, we want to create signed URLs for all of these asset URLs that we've built up. So this is either going to be an empty array or it's going to be a collection of URLs. Should we put this? Should we have an if statement before checking if it is an empty array? Because we probably don't want to call this with an empty array. Or if it is an empty array, does it just handle it nicely?
Wouldn't know. It's not going to be an empty array. We're running out of time. Let's move on.
All right. Cool. So we create
We can create an issue for it.
We create our signed URLs. So this will be, let's just say signed URLs. And then we get back our right. So now we need to construct the object that we're actually sending back. So I guess our entries, we want to map over our entries.
Let's first turn the signed URLs into a nice object that's easy to work with. So if we do, I don't know, const signed URLs object or something, or obj, whatever, it doesn't really matter what the name is called.
Like this one?
No. We're going to use that because that's an array. We're going to turn that into, we can say equals object.from entries. And then we can do signed URLs.map. And then URL, and it will be returning an array. The first index 0 of the array will be URL.path. The second one will be the URL.signed URL.
URL.path and URL.signed URL.
Nice. So we're going from the path, the unsigned path, to the. You had it right. What are you freaking out about?
To URL signed. Oh, not signed URL. Oh God, what's happened?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's why are you freaking out? It was
URL
perfect.
Dot signed URL.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, beautiful.
Question mark, that one.
Wonderful. Yeah,
beautiful.
Perfect.
Thank you,
So
GitHub Copilot.
Now, when we go back through our original entries, we can just change the signed URLs to, and get rid of all the
square brackets.
Yeah, exactly. Square bracket
nice.
instead of having to do like a find on each one.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be a pain, but wow, this method, nice.
Smart.
Yeah,
So,
very smart.
So I want to iterate over all of our entries, right?
Yep.
And we want to map over each entry, and then we want to return an object that has, is it all of our entry? And then
sign your asset.
Oh, yeah. Copilot had a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
This one? Different one.
No, go back. That one.
Asset URLs is entry.asset URLs.map the URL, and then we want to go and get the signed URL, but we only actually need index 0. But anyway, so it's just going to replace the first one.
Yeah, all the other ones will just remain the same. So we can either remove it here, which is probably the correct thing to do. Yeah, it's the correct. We're doing it the correct way. So maybe let's just make an. Oh, it's a pain though. Yeah,
index
I mean
that works.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
love it.
So this is going to give us back our entries with signed URLs, and then
oh, this is gonna change the. It's no longer array though, is it?
Yeah, no. That's fine.
29
The asset URLs.
Yeah.
Is now a string or undefined.
Yeah. Do we want to make it an array or do we not care?
Well, we should, because TypeScript will yell at us.
Yeah. So I think we can wrap it into a square bracket, and love
but
it.
then also
Beautiful.
do dot filter boolean again, because we might be wrapping undefined in an array. So if that's the case, we just want to filter it out.
So inside here, we want to
No, you're right the first time. You're doubting yourself, John. You just got to believe. You keep doing it right and then going back.
The time pressure. I don't keep
Believe.
freaking out. All right, almost there. We've only got some red, couple of reds. Implicitly has any type. Probably because we've munched it too many times.
Are we saying the word entries too many times, or
Yeah, why is it complaining it
can you hover over
with
the
the
first
entries
entries?
very top? Yeah,
Oh, the top
all the
one?
way to the top.
This one?
Yeah, no, a
Keep
little
going.
more. Yep, that one.
Any...
Now we're running into that problem, that weird TypeScript problem.
Yeah, that's weird.
But this
Okay,
is
so
weird.
if we just make this data,
Yeah, I don't get it.
and
I'm sure
this one.
someone can explain that, or it's just a bug, but it's
data,
fine.
then it's all good. Awesome.
And then
So
you can just call that entries instead of entries with signed URLs, and we're
Cool.
good to go.
Oh yeah, good call. So this one can just be entries, and we're good to go.
Whew. All right.
That was more complicated than it seemed like it would be. That's probably our fault. So now
Great.
we want
Now we can
to
change
swap
the
out
URL.
this.
Nice.
Yeah. Or I guess we could just quickly console log out our entries just to make sure that we've like transformed this into the right shape of object. So if we have a look, this is an array of entries, and then each of our entries has an empty thing
Nice.
unless it actually has
Nice.
asset
Perfect.
URLs, and then we just have index 0. Awesome. So now
Wow.
in our where we're actually doing this image, I guess we could just maybe do a conditional here that says
No,
if...
we can just do that on the source, right? Because we're going to have that image either way. That's going to be our fallback image.
Oh yeah, good call. So the source is either going to be if we have an entry dot asset underscore URLs index 0, then
Awesome question marks.
we
then,
want
yeah.
to
You
use
can
it.
just do two question marks is the quick and fast and
Nullus coalescent.
But
yeah,
don't
yeah,
we
yeah.
want the don't we want a fallback? Don't we want this?
Yeah,
one to be
we
the
can
fallback?
nullishly coalesce, if that's the word, to that fallback.
All right, double question mark.
There's an awesome video about it, by the way.
That's great. That's a little inside joke for you.
All right.
So
And then
instead
what do
of
we wanna
that
do?
second entry.asset URL 0, just drop in that URL.
Oh yeah, of course. Right. I was very confused for a moment. Yeah, so we either use this one, or if this one is undefined or null, then we use this one. And that should make our one entry that has an image look like this. Awesome. Okay, cool. So again, the data's in there. It's in that image tag. And
Beautiful.
so, yeah, if someone wants to
That's
have a
great.
play with that and make it look nice, that would be an
Do you
awesome...
want to edit one of them just to make sure it works with a different image?
Like
Good
the
call.
7
Let's do the top
megabyte
one.
thumbnail.
Error!
Oh,
Well, that's no good. Body paths must not have fewer than one item. What did
does
we
that even
do?
mean?
I thought TypeScript meant you
What did
don't
we
get
do?
errors anymore. What is this?
Can we look in the other console?
Entries, ID, other
Terminal?
console. Oh, I've got so much to scroll through. So many errors. Let's find the most recent one. All right. That's not very helpful at all.
There was an error returning date, so it's something in the body must not have fewer than one item. So we're not returning a body
From our actual component. So I guess
from
this
our
component,
loader.
this throw.
Maybe it's the second throw. I think it might be the second throw. That one.
Oh,
comes
right.
straight
Yeah,
from
we're
the
not
doc.
throwing a response. So we want a new response of error. I think we need to do dot message, and then this can be like a 500.
Right, because
Status
obviously there's
500.
no asset to create signed URLs from.
So this was your 0. We need to wrap the thing in an array.length.
Right. So then
Maybe.
this one. Wait, which one up here?
22,
Before we
yeah.
go and do this.
Yep.
So if data.asset urls.length. If it's equal to 0,
Then we can just return the entry straight up, right?
good call. It's just called data at the moment, isn't it? Right. So
So Copilot's got it.
Boom.
Wow.
Whew. Come on.
All right.
Nice.
Wow.
Awesome. All right. And
that was a bad
what was
error
it?
message, though.
That was a very bad error message. All right. So now if we do this one and submit,
Is that the other image?
maybe model, I don't know. It's the same image, but that's fine. That's proof enough that it's working. So if we go back to our entries list, it's moved down the bottom because it's been recently edited. And so we have each of those with our image, and it's all working perfectly.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Okay.
Great.
And
Right on time.
yeah, right on time. Andrew had to leave, and so we are enjoying the last of our happy hour stream, and Wembo's just joined
Wembo.
us, so conveniently joining us at the end. Well, we don't even have real-time issues this time.
Yeah, no real-time issues.
Not
We're doing
using
storage
real-time
instead
yet.
of real-time.
And maybe after next week there won't be any real-time issues. Maybe.
Ever again.
I like that we can just like hint anything that's a problem right now. Maybe it won't be a problem by the end of next week. Who knows? All right, awesome. That's it from us. Thank you so much for joining us for another week. This has been awesome. I will push up the code after this stream is finished, and we will flesh out some of those issues so that there's a little bit to get started on if anyone wants to jump in and help us out. Remember that next week we are going to be doing a super special Supabase happy hour where we are going to try to build one app over the 2 hours, a fully finished deployed to production application that implements as many things as we can get done in 2 hours. So it might
I think we should all be typing, like 3 devs. Just
yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. We could like if all 3 of us were in the like in a VS Code share live share session, if there's
That'll be
something where it's like,
awesome.
oh, we'll style that later or whatever, one of us could just be styling it while the other one's working on some other thing, and then when we refresh the page, all of a sudden it's styled as well. I feel like that would be fun. But yeah, we'll work out some ways to make it fun for next week.
It's going to be fun. 4-hour special.
No one leaves until we have a working application in production. Again, if you haven't got your registered your free ticket for Supabase Launch Week, which is happening next week, make sure that you come and register your ticket. There are some super limited edition golden hats and golden tickets that you can win. So go and put your email in here and click register. We have also kicked off our hackathon that's running alongside Launch Week this year, this quarter, this Launch Week. And so, yeah, we have just kicked off a new hackathon. Go and check out the information on that on this video, which will be in the description. And come join us in Discord, where we will be hanging out. And yeah, some of the Supabase team will be building their applications.
One thing I wanted to call out about hackathon is one of the category is a best Flutter application. So you know if you're a Flutter dev,
who's gonna win that, Tyler?
You can. And you can just build a really awesome Flutter application, and you can win a golden Supabase hat. So
awesome!
Yeah,
that is very, very cool. So yeah, get your brains thinking about things that you could build. If you've already got an idea, time to get started. There's $1,500 worth of GitHub sponsorship dollars on the line, and golden Supabase hats for all of your team.
I think there's actually more than that, because I think it's $1,500 per category, and I think we got a good few categories.
Is it per category, or is it just for the?
I'm going to say it's per category, and just make if it's not, it is now. I'm going to promise things,
Yeah, and so just build a cool enough application that you win every category, and you will make a whole bunch of money, and you'll have so many hats. Oh wait, no, you can. Oh no, you can still submit one. Yeah, one submission that wins every category. Try and do that. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us for another week. If you have not done so yet, head on over to youtube.com/c/superbase and click that subscribe button and the little notification bell to get notified anytime we're going live with these Superbase happy hours, or when we launch a video. These Superbase happy hours will be happening every Thursday at 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET, I think. Make sure you come and follow us on Twitter. So twitter.com/superbase. Here's where we will definitely be shouting about all of the cool things that are coming throughout next week, throughout launch week. If you like any of us and want to keep hearing even more from us, you can follow us on Twitter. And so Alistair is at Alistair Young on Twitter. Tyler is D Shirkett Jr. on Twitter. And I am John Myers _IO. Come give us a follow and hear about all the cool things that we're building and what we're building for our super secret hackathon projects outside of our Superbase Happy Hour hackathon project. Oh man, we're going to have so many fun things to build. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for another week. We will see you next week.
See you next
Take
week.
care,
Have a good one,
everyone.
everyone.
Sweet. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.